In Moldova, the gas cut has led to an energy crisis for the breakaway region of Transnistria. The Russian-backed enclave extended power cuts on Sunday. All industries except for food production have been shut down. Many residents were left without central heating and hot water. This despite the existence of alternative pipelines to send Russian natural gas. And the enclave rejected aid from Moldova's pro-Western government. Moscow claims that Moldova owes hundreds of millions of dollars, which Chisinau denies. For insight on how the lack of Russian gas will affect Europe, let's turn to Remi Piet. He's senior partner at investment consulting firm Embellie Advisory. Hi, Remi, great to have you. And please give us a sense of who's bearing the brunt of this decision.
Hi, Diego. Thanks for the invitation. First of all, it's very interesting the evolution or the lack of evolution of prices in the European Union after the decision from Ukraine not to continue serving as a transit country for Russian gas exports. And that actually shows that the European Union countries have taken a few steps ahead by ensuring a level of reserves that were quite high. I mean, even Slovakia, that was the most adamant about shouting about potential risk, it still has more than three times what it needs usually to go through the winter in terms of reserve. They're full at 3/4. Same thing for other similar countries. And you can see here the pro-Russian Prime Minister in Slovakia calling for potential issues because these countries, it was making a lot of money off transiting money up to other Western countries, European countries, $1 billion per year. And so there were some vested interests. Same thing in Hungary, same thing in Transnistria, obviously a very pro-Russian small territory, a separatist region out of Moldova that is now facing its energy security of supply future in the hands of Moldova itself, because the only way they can access to Russian gas is through Turkey and through Chisinau, the capital of Moldova. And so that actually puts issues in terms of energy security important for those populations in Transnistria. More generally, to answer your question, there's no strong impact because there were strategies taken ahead of time for mitigating potential impact on prices. But in some specific regions, you could see that actually will have some impact geopolitically on Transnistria, and also in terms of potentially of some countries transit countries in the eastern part of the European Union, such as Slovakia, in terms of being able to balance that budget at the end of the year.
Remi, are there winners in this story?
I mean, right now it's an interesting move showing that the European Union is able to withstand a strong decision from Ukraine to forego, obviously the money for transit that they would not have received anywhere. I don't think so if it was coming from Russia. But in any case, to forego that decision of a shipment of gas and to be able to withstand the boom of it and the impact of it. The European economies have been suffering for the last few years by the lack of access to affordable gas that they used to have from Russia, but it has taken some measures of alternative fuel mixes and also alternative suppliers, especially from the Western Hemisphere, or also some countries in the Middle East. And so clearly here the decision was a big move in terms from Ukraine to have a severe blow from Gazprom and the Russian economy, a Russian economy that has been quite suffering over the last few months. And you look at the evolution of the ruble compared to the US dollars, Putin is facing strong headwinds for 2025. And this actually did not lead to an issue of security with direct impact for the European consumers. So that has already been integrated into the budgetary elements and factors of those European countries. So as a result, it was interesting to see and call the bluff of Robert Fico, Viktor Orban in Hungary and Slovakia, the two countries that are more aligned with Russia, and at the same time show that that there are alternative source of supply through Turkey, for example, or even drifting away from this Russian gas coming from Turkey. There are alternative suppliers down the road, and that is a strong threat for the Russian economy down the road. There is the question of Transnistria. We have to monitor it very closely. Elections are coming in next year, and the pro-Western head of states is claiming that Moldova has repaid its debt to Russia, definitely not the level to what Putin was claiming. And there's been an international audit, highlighting a debt of $9 million that were to be reimbursed fairly soon. And the decision not to bring gas to Transnistria is really, more a decision of Putin refusing Moldova to be a transit country and decided this, rather than actually making the case that it's Moldova's, Chisinau's decision to limit the access of energy to a population in Transnistria that is facing very sharp, cold temperature below 0 degrees right now, and so it's very hard to get some source of heat in Transnistria after the decision from Ukraine to stop transiting the Russian gas.
I see. Remi Piet, thank you very much. Great having you.
My pleasure, Gil.